Several classic scenes from Avengers movies were lifted directly from Marvel Comics, often with surprising fidelity. The MCU timeline has captivated audiences for over a decade, with thrilling action, emotional arcs, and massive crossovers. While the films often remix comic book lore for modern audiences, some of the franchise's most iconic moments are direct homages to classic Marvel Comics stories. The greatest Avengers movie scenes aren't just cinematic magic, they're lifted straight from the pages of Marvel's decades-long history. Those familiar with the source material were thrilled to see their favorite moments brought to life on the big screen. Indeed, these scenes prove that Marvel Studios knows how to honor its comic book roots in spectacular and entertaining fashion. 10. The Avengers assemble to take down Loki. The Avengers First 2012's The Avengers pays homage to the team's comic book origin in The Avengers First 1963. In their debut issues, Loki manipulates the Hulk to fight Thor, inadvertently bringing Earth's mightiest heroes together. In both mediums, Loki is the catalyst that unites a disparate group of heroes to stop his schemes. Related, while the movie adds modern flair and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s involvement, the essence remains. In both, Loki's meddling and manipulation of the Hulk lead to the creation of the Avengers. The film even mimics comic panel dynamics during the Battle of New York. Scenes of teamwork, like Cap deflecting Iron Man's blasts or Hulk and Thor tag-teaming Chitauri, are classic comic developments. By the end, the unity and strength of a new super team defeat Loki, just as they do in the comics. 9. Thanos rests in his garden. The Infinity Gauntlet 6th. After the devastating snap in Avengers: Infinity War, Thanos disappears to an unnamed planet where he quietly watches a sunrise. This tranquil moment echoes the Infinity Gauntlet #61991, where Thanos retreats to a humble farm to contemplate his legacy. A surprisingly serene version of the Mad Titan, no longer conquering, but at peace with his actions. Much like the movie, the comic shows Thanos in simple clothing, surrounded by crops, pondering existence. It is also adorned with a scarecrow made of his old armor. The film mirrors these scenes perfectly, capturing the bittersweet calm after cataclysm. It's a profound moment in both mediums. It redefined Thanos not just as a villain but as a philosopher-warrior, reflecting on sacrifice and consequence. Marvel's adaptation captures the same eerie tranquility for a character responsible for half the universe's annihilation. Captain America wields Mjolnir, fear itself. 7th. One of the most crowd-cheering scenes in Avengers: Endgame is when Steve Rogers lifts Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, to battle Thanos. This epic moment is straight from the comics, occurring numerous times throughout Cap's history. The most pertinent example appears in Fear Itself 7th 2011, where Cap briefly lifts Mjolnir to rally heroes during a dire battle. Both versions of the scene reinforce Steve's worthiness. Cap's always been noble, but this act confirms it on a cosmic level. The film heightens the drama, letting Cap summon lightning and duel Thanos like a god. Thor's approving smile and cheer, "I knew it," is a nod to both audiences and comic continuity. In the comics, Cap has occasionally used the hammer, always with a noble purpose. The moment in Endgame perfectly translates that legacy, proving once again that even among gods, Captain America stands tall. 7. Ebony Maw tortures Doctor Strange. Infinity in Avengers: Infinity War, Ebony Maw captures Doctor Strange and tortures him aboard a spaceship, attempting to extract the Time Stone. This scene draws inspiration from Jonathan Hickman's Infinity 2013, where Maw uses psychological manipulation and dark magic to torture Strange into becoming an unwilling ally. The movie simplifies this scene into physical torture. The core concept remains. Strange is pushed to his limits, both mentally and spiritually. Interestingly, his eventual surrender of the Time Stone adds ambiguity to this moment. At the time, it was very unclear why Strange would give Thanos the Time Stone. Therefore, fans of the comics might have assumed that Maw had also corrupted Strange. Despite the differences, the echo of Strange's fragile agency under pressure remains intact. It's a smart nod to a cerebral arc from the comics, adapted in a more visually intense scene. 6. Pepper Potts dons the rescue armor. The invincible Iron Man 12th in Avengers Endgame, Pepper Potts joins the final battle in her Iron Man suit. There she fights alongside Tony in a moment of power couple triumph. This armor, sleek, blue, and streamlined, is a live-action version of her rescue suit from the Invincible Iron Man 12th 2009, where she becomes a hero in her own right. In the comics, Rescue is equipped with tech focused on defense and search and rescue. Rescue is far more supportive than offensive, unlike Iron Man. While the movie version leans more into combat, the intent remains the same. Pepper is asserting herself as a positive influence. The visual design of the suit is faithful to the comic's aesthetic, and her arrival in the final battle is a satisfying payoff for longtime viewers. It marks Pepper's evolution from a supporting role to an armored Avenger, albeit briefly. 5. Cap's Hail Hydra moment. Captain America, Steve Rogers first in Avengers Endgame. Steve Rogers whispers Hail Hydra in an elevator to avoid a fight and retrieve the Mind Stone. This clever twist references the controversial moment from Captain America, Steve Rogers First, 2016. Steve, believed to be brainwashed, declares allegiance to Hydra. The comic reveal sparked outrage, leading to a shift in Cap's moral compass. The film subverts this, turning it into a smart crowd. By invoking his enemy's trust, Cap avoids the brawl seen in the Winter Soldier's iconic elevator fight. It's a layered Easter egg, playing with expectations while acknowledging one of the most shocking comic book twists in recent history. Rather than a betrayal, it becomes a masterstroke of espionage. Marvel expertly turns controversy into cleverness, showcasing Cap's growth as both strategist and symbol. 4. Hawkeye becomes Ronin New Avengers 27th in Avengers Endgame. Clint Barton adopts the deadly Ronin persona after losing his family to the snap. He takes brutal vengeance on criminals around the world. This transformation draws directly from New Avengers 27th, 2007, where Barton becomes Ronin following the events of Civil War. In the comics, Clint uses the Ronin identity to distance himself from the Avenger mantle and operate in the shadows. The film faithfully recreates his black and hooded costume, complete with a katana. Both versions reflect a darker, more lethal side of the usually light-hearted Archer, embodying grief and disillusionment. The movie takes this arc further emotionally, linking it to personal loss rather than team disbandment. It's a sharp, stylish reimagining of a fan-favorite comic evolution. Moreover, it showcases the emotional depth of a character often overlooked. 3. Old Man Rogers passes on the Captain America mantle. Captain America, Vol. 7, 25th at the end of Avengers Endgame, an aged Steve Rogers passes his shield and thus the Captain America title to Sam Wilson. This heartfelt moment is drawn from Captain America, Vol. 7, 25th. There, a depowered elderly Steve names Sam as his successor. In both the comic and the film, the choice reflects deep trust and recognition of Sam's integrity. The movie mirrors the comic's quiet dignity. Steve, sitting on a bench, shield in hand, smiles as Sam accepts a handoff. It's a legacy entrusted to someone worthy. Sam's tentative yet dignified response in the film mirrors the comic's subtle perspective on assuming Steve's role. This handoff honors both characters and establishes the foundation for a new phase of Captain America, grounded in inclusivity and progress. 2. Thanos' snap the Infinity Gauntlet. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping scene in MCU history is Thanos snapping his fingers to wipe out half of all life in Avengers Infinity War. This act is pulled straight from the Infinity Gauntlet 1991. Thanos, seeking to impress death, eliminates half the universe with a snap. The comic moment is immediate and horrifying, just like its cinematic counterpart. Panels show heroes suddenly vanishing, whereas the film shows beloved characters turning to dust. Regardless, the use of silence, shock, and scale is identical. Both versions emphasize the enormity of the act, not with fanfare, but with devastating quiet. Marvel Studios translated this pivotal comic beat with stunning fidelity, creating a moment that changed the MCU forever. It also solidified Thanos as one of cinema's most memorable villains. 1. Iron Man wears the Infinity Gauntlet. Avengers 12th, 2012. Tony Stark's final act in Avengers Endgame sees him wielding a makeshift Infinity Gauntlet and snapping Thanos' army out of existence. This is inspired by Avengers 12th, 2012. In this issue, Tony briefly dons the gauntlet to save reality from collapse. The image of Iron Man with all 6 stones echoes the movie's climax, even though the comic arc does not end in his death. Both versions present Iron Man as the ultimate hero, self-sacrificing, brilliant, and willing to carry a cosmic burden. The film's line, "I am Iron Man," adds poetic closure while transforming a comic moment into an MCU-defining sacrifice. It's a perfect fusion of legacy and adaptation. It transforms Tony Stark's arc into a mythic, unforgettable farewell that still honors its comic roots. It is one of the most iconic MCU Avengers scenes lifted straight from the pages of Marvel Comics.